Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a minute since I've dropped a video, but because of the nature of the content that I put out, that is based on my life experiences and my journey on the self development and self growth and self healing processes, I would first have to experience a couple of things before I get to share those life experiences with you guys and hopefully encourage some healing of your own. Now, before I go into today's video, I want to send out a huge thank you to every single one of my subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, for getting me to the 100 subscriber mark and actually surpassing that mark. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. So, if we can get to 100 subscribers, we can definitely get to 1,000 subscribers. So please do continue to share the YouTube channel link with your friends, and like and subscribe and put on the notification button so that whenever I do drop a video, you'll be the first one to know. Now, I want to share a story with you guys. Coming to the title of this particular video, I want to share a story with you guys in line with the importance of running your own race. Now, the thought behind this particular storytelling, a point that I want to get across, comes from an adventure that I took in hiking up Signal Hill and how I equated that experience with running my own race. So, if you're very keen on hearing that particular story, please do stay tuned as I continue to share that experience with you. All right, so let's jump straight into it. So, my journey with hiking began at the start of this year. A friend of mine decided that it would be great to go hiking every first Sunday of every month for the rest of the year, and that was our plan. And which is great. So she got a couple of people together, formed a WhatsApp group where it would be our means of communication as to when the hikes will be or where the hikes would be. So the first hike that we went on was Newlands Forest, and a lot of people are familiar with Newlands Forest. And if you are familiar with it, I think you would also agree in the sense that it's very chilled for a hiking spot, very flat ground, not too steep, not too hectic. So for a first timer, it's a great place to go hiking, and I completely enjoyed it. I enjoyed being in nature. I enjoyed the sereneness of the place. I enjoyed how quiet and still it was. I enjoyed how some parts were very foresty, some parts were almost wetlands, some parts were, there was a little dam in the middle of the forest where we sort of went for a young dip. And it was lovely. And then skip past to the next month, my friend decides that it would be great for us to hike up Signal Hill. So she sends a WhatsApp group to explain to everybody. Sana English, inkele, hot today. She sends a WhatsApp group to explain to everybody the intensity of the hike itself compared to Newlands Forest for those people who aren't used to hiking. No. So she's like, listen, the hike is, a bit intense, more intense than Newlands Flat Forest. Newlands is like a 5 out of 10 in terms of hiking or intensity itself, and then Signal Hill is about a 7 or an 8 out of 10. So when I received this message, I was like, oh my, 7 out of 10 compared to a 5 out of 10? Come on, we can do this. No problem. So Sunday comes through, and on the hike was myself, my friend. She brought a friend along, and I brought along a person. A guy that I met on Tinder, but that's a story for another day. So it's just the four of us going on a hike. Now, as you start the hike on Signal Hill, it's lovely. There's a footpath. You can see bano indlela yakuvumela right. Yes, it's steep at the beginning, but it's not that steep. It's sort of like an expected type of steepness, until you get to the rocks, and then after that, it's nothing but rocks and stones. and chains and it's just literally just this. You're climbing a freaking mountain. It went from a hike to climbing a mountain. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now, it was tough. And tough is an understatement. I need you to understand that my legs were shaking. My knees were non-existent. There were times when I was climbing where I thought and felt that I'm finna die today. Um, there were times where I was like, I'm finna sit down. I'll meet you guys when you come back down the mountain because I'm not doing this. There were many times where I'd be climbing, of course, Disepe, because everybody else is, just doing their thing. Um, Disepe, and I would look up and I would see them just going up the mountain. The guy, clearly an experienced hiker, apparently this is what he does every other morning before he goes to work. So yes, I ran out of space. Anyway, so this guy, clearly an experienced climber, guy is pretty much just doing his thing. It's easy buzz. He looks like he's free flowing up the damn mountain. And then you have my friend who's also an experienced climber, but you would find that there were moments where she would take a breather and have a look at us, myself and her friend, who were trailing behind, and sort of wait for us, which was great. But also you'd find her doing her own thing whilst climbing up the mountain, not necessarily rushing to anywhere. And you could see that the pace of the other guy was of an experienced hiker, and he wanted to get up the mountain and enjoy the view. I mean, that was the entire point of us going up the mountain in the first place. And then you had me and, the other person who, yeah, bego difficult to say the least. We were obviously slow in climbing up the mountain. We were obviously a bit shaken in climbing up the mountain. And not that we were trailing too far behind. We would catch up every now and then. But I need you to understand how difficult it was. It was not an easy hike. Now, skip past to every little gritty detail that might have, transpired throughout the entire hike. We all eventually got to the top of the mountain. We got to Signal Hill. We got to experience the sunset, and we got to experience the entire beautiful view of Cape Town from that particular point. We got to experience the ocean at that point. And let me tell you, when I got to the top, I cried. I literally started crying. Now, I was crying for many reasons, obviously. My legs were sore. My heart, I had heart palpitations. I thought I was going to die. But I think the one thing that I was really crying about was the feeling of glory that I had when I reached the top of the mountain, and having to experience that view, not only by myself, but obviously with the people that I was with who were also climbing the mountain at their own different pace. I felt myself so proud that I did not just sit down and wait for them to come back down the mountain. I felt so proud that I did not give up at any time in hiking up that particular mountain, and I enjoyed every single bit of that view and the sun hitting my skin, and it just felt really, really glorious to be on that mountain. And the one thing I realized when I got to the top was that the four of us climbed that mountain in different ways at different paces, with different thoughts in our heads, with different whatever we were going through emotionally or mentally or whatever the case might be. But each one of us climbed that mountain at our own pace. At our own pace. We all had pretty much the same goals, ideally, to get to the top of the mountain. But the pace at which we went in hiking up that mountain was different. And for every one of us, when we got to the mountain, to the top of the mountain, we experienced the glory differently. I remember I cried. My friend started taking pictures. The guy was just chilling there and enjoying the sunset. And then the other friend was just like, wow, you know, each one of us had our separate experiences in the glory that we felt when we reached the top of the mountain. And that, when I felt that glory, that was the moment of me understanding the importance of running your own race. When I talk about running your own race at your own pace, I am talking about firstly having to understand yourself and how you work and how you do things and what your goals and your dreams are and what you want to do with your life and how you want to create your story. Once you understand how you navigate this life thing, you will understand the pace at which you need to run it. Because at the end of the day, it is yours. It's nobody else's. And if I, at any time on that hike, let's say, for example, had looked at the guy that we were with, the one that, hikes up Signal Hill every other morning before he goes to work, and try to chase him at his pace, doesn't get enough. I would have died. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I would have died because he's used to running this thing. He's used to going up the Signal Hill and he's used to hiking. And I'm not. But at the end of the day, my goal was to get up there. And I did get up there at my own pace. If I had decided to do it ngendlela yomnye umuntu, I don't think and I don't believe that the glory that I felt at the top of that mountain would have slept the same. I don't believe that. And this is the message that I wanted to get across with this particular video. And I hope that you hear me, you know. So much has transpired in 1 year. For some of us, it feels like it has been the longest year ever. For some of us, it might seem at this moment, Gandhi, it just went by very quickly. This is the time to sort of like get in tune with you, get in tune with yourself and your goals and where you want to go from this moment onwards. Because I believe, if anything, 2020 has taught us is that life is short and it's about time to get your shit in order, whatever, however that looks like for you. Go for whatever it is that you want to do at your pace. Find your pace and find the pace that works for you. And I know you may be bombarded by thinking that uh, not English today, and that's not the point. By thinking that you don't have enough time, by thinking that there's not enough resources, is by thinking a whole bunch of things that are not necessarily, healthy in pursuing whatever it is that you want to pursue. But you need to understand that there is enough time. There is enough time. There's enough time, there's enough resources, there's enough of everything for you to get to that particular mountaintop that is in your mind and it is in your dreams. But to remember to always run your own race and run at the pace that works for you. All right? So I really hope that the story has come across and you guys heard what I was trying to convey. And if it's something that resonates with you, please do like the video. Please do share the video with other people. It might resonate with them as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also put on that notification button. I haven't forgotten. I had asked you guys if you wanted me to do a get to know me video, which I'm very keen on doing. I have received a couple of questions from you guys that you would like me to answer upon the screen, and I will be putting that one soon. If you haven't asked any questions via my social media platforms, please don't hesitate to inbox me your questions. I am open to answering your questions in the get to know me tag. So until my next video, love and light, my babies. Love and light.